In this video, we'll be looking at Chapter 11, Section I.1 on Venn diagrams and conditional probability. We've worked a lot with Venn diagrams already, so in this video, we're really just going to look at one example. And then in the next section, I.2, we'll go into Venn diagrams in a little bit more detail in terms of solving probability problems. So, in this problem, we have a class of 30 students, and we know that 19 play a sport. We know that 8 play the piano, and there are 3 that play both the sport and the piano. We're asked to display this information on a Venn diagram and then to determine the probability that a randomly selected class member meets several different situations. So our first step is to draw a blank Venn diagram. And in this case, A will represent the number of students that play a sport, and B will represent the number of students that play the piano. Now we know that we have 30 students total, and we know that 19 play a sport. So there are 19 students within this circle that play a sport. We know that 8 play the piano, so within this entire circle I should have 8 students, and that 3 play both the sport and the piano. And that's the intersection of the two circles. So I can go ahead and put a 3 in there, and then the portion that's left over here will be 19 minus 3, or 16, and the portion that play only the piano will be 8 minus 3, which is 5. Now don't forget to add these numbers up. If I add 16, 3, and 5, I only get 24. So remember, there are 30 students in the class. So if there are only 24 students within the circle, that means 6 students play neither a sport or the piano. So now that I have my Venn diagram completed, I can start answering the questions here. And the first question wants us to find the probability that a student plays both sport and the piano. Well, we know that there are 3 students out of 30 that play both the sport and the piano. So we have 3 over 30, or 1/10. For question B, we're asked to find the probability that a student plays at least one of sport or the piano. So that could be this number, or this number. All of these students play at least a sport or the piano. And so there are 24 students there out of 30, which we can simplify to 4/5. Question C asks to find the probability of a student who plays a sport but not the piano, and that's this number right here. So we have 16 out of 30, which is going to equal 8 over 15. Question D, we want to find the probability that a student plays exactly one sport or the piano. But in this case, we're not going to consider the students that play both, right? We want to exactly one. So I can have 16 who play exactly a sport and 5 who play only the piano. And so I'll have 21 out of 30, which is equal to 7/10. Question E, neither the sport nor the piano. That's this number right here, 6 out of 30, which was 1/5. And question F, and this is really the conditional probability question with the Venn diagram here, so we have to be careful of the wording. Right, we're asked to find the probability that a student plays the piano if it is known that the student plays a sport. So this is the condition right here. Right? It is known that the student plays a sport. That's the condition. I'm no longer talking about all 30 students. Instead, I'm only talking about the students that play a sport, which we know is 19. Right? And out of those, how many also play the piano? And we know that 3 of them also play the piano. So the probability is 3/19.